The Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to John. At that time, Jesus left Samaria for Galilee, for Jesus himself testified that a prophet has no honor in his native place. When he came into Galilee, the Galileans welcomed him, since they had seen all he had done in Jerusalem at the feast, for they themselves had gone to the feast. Then he returned to Cana in Galilee, where he had made the water wine. Now there was a royal official whose son was ill in Capernaum. When he heard that Jesus had arrived in Galilee from Judea, he went to him and asked him to come down and heal his son, who was near death. Jesus said to him, "Unless you see signs and wonders, you will not believe." The royal official said to him, "Sir, come down before my child dies." Jesus said to him, "You may go, your son will live." The man believed what Jesus said to him and left. While the man was on his way back, his slaves met him and told him that his boy would live. He asked them when he began to recover. They told him, "The fever left him yesterday, about 1 p.m. The father realized that just at that time, Jesus had said to him, "Your son will live," and he and his whole household came to believe. Now this was the second sign Jesus did when he came to Galilee from Judea. The Gospel of the Lord. The prophet Isaiah prophesied, "Behold, I am about to create a new heavens and a new earth." It's the same thing that is said in the book of Revelation. The book of Revelation ends with the new heavens and the new earth. This prophecy from Isaiah is not primarily about the end of the world, which is kind of a basic service level reading of this text. People might read this, and especially people of a more fundamentalist bent, right, will read this as a prophecy about the end of the world, that this current world we inhabit is going to end, and there will be a new heavens and a new earth. Ultimately, that might be true, but primarily what this prophecy is about something that has already taken place. Right? In this context of the prophet Isaiah, this is actually prophesying about the new temple that was going to be built in Jerusalem. Remember, the people of Israel were taken into exile, the temple was destroyed, and eventually they were able to rebuild the temple. That temple in Jerusalem is a sort of microcosm of the universe, but it's also a certain foreshadowing of the church as well. Right? We say that Christ himself is the true temple. Right? His body is the true temple. And the church is the mystical body of Christ. Right? So when God prophesies through the prophet Isaiah, he is going to create a new heavens and a new earth, it's talking about the church. Right? The church is the new heavens and the new earth. The church, in the words of the book we've been reading, is like a colony of heaven, right, in the midst of the world. The church is literally recreating the world. And every individual Christian, every day insofar as they participate in grace and the invitation of Christ, is becoming a new creation, right, renewing the earth. The prophet Isaiah says, "I create Jerusalem to be a joy and its people to be a delight." In other words, it's supposed to be talking about us, the church. I create the church to be a joy and its people to be a delight. Are we really living as a new heavens and a new earth? One of my favorite quotes from Pope Francis, he says that every Catholic church, every parish, is supposed to be like the community of communities, a light, a beacon in the midst of where it stands. And we as a church, we are supposed to be the new heavens and the new earth.